Good evening, Kavita. Good evening, Saima. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, Savita. Okay, let's start about the most important topic, that is the cancer. So, friends, very quickly tell me, am I audible or not? I hope I am perfectly audible. Okay. Good evening, Akshay. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, let's start. So friends, we all know very well from this particular topic of cancer, we will get part B question also, as well as friends, we will, good evening Deepika, we will also get the part C question also. We all know very well friends, this particular chapter, this particular concept of cancer is extremely important. Why? Because friends, I can tell you one line, without this concept, I mean to say, without cancer, there will be no question from the CSIR net, or you can say that compulsory from the cancer topic we will get either part B question, or compulsory we will get the part C question. So keep it in your mind, without the question from the cancer topic there is a no CSIR net life sciences question paper. That much important this particular cancer topic is. Okay, so friends, what kind of questions that we can expect, what kind of questions that we can expect from this particular cancer topic? So friends, every one of you keep it in your mind, we can get the questions from the differences. What kind of differences? The differences between the normal cell, cancer cell, you can get that model. So if not, we can get very important, we can expect the questions from characteristics. We can expect the question from the characteristics. So if you don't get the question from the differences between the normal cell, cancer cell, good evening Aishwarya, continue, differences between the normal cell and cancer cell, the characteristic of a cancer cell when compared to the normal cell, then the most important one friends, genetics of cancer. So friends, in this particular genetics of cancer, what we basically study, we will study about the different type of genes, especially we study about the tumor suppressor genes, we will study about the proto-onco genes. So if we don't expect the question from this particular three areas, there is only one way we can expect the question from the treatment. We can expect the question from the treatment. So friends, only these are all the four ways are there where we can expect the question from this particular cancer. But what is the most important point you have to remember? There is a no doubt we can expect the question compulsory. Okay, so let's start. I'll explain from basic to advanced level about the entire concept of cancer. So as soon as we understand the cancer, it will take 2 classes. We will discuss in the today's class also. Even friends, we will discuss in the tomorrow class also. Once tomorrow the concept is over, tomorrow itself we will solve the all PYQs which was asked with respect to the cancer. Okay, let's continue. So friends, the first one, how can I define the word cancer? How can I define the word cancer? So friends, listen. Most of the students will get confused. See here, what was written here? Cancer is a genetic disease. What we have written? The cancer is what friends? Cancer is a genetic disease. Because, what is the reason? Because it can be traced to alterations within the specific genes. But see here, I am only saying that cancer is a genetic disease. In other hand, I am only saying that cancer is not an inherited disease. Good evening, good evening. Now you all will get a doubt. What is the doubt you all people will get? I am saying cancer is a genetic disease, but how it cannot be inherited disease? My friends, sir, please listen my statements very carefully. I am calling cancer is a genetic disease because cancer is caused by the changes or alterations in the gene sequence. What friends? It is caused by the changes or alterations in the gene sequence. But friends, there is no rule that the cancer should be inherited. So everyone try to understand. You can see in a given statement always make us confused. They will say that the cancer is a genetic disease, but they will say that it is not an inherited. Absolutely true point. Because cancer is just caused because there is a change. Because of change in what, friends? There is a change in the gene sequence. Always remember that. But it cannot be inherited. Do not forget that point. So friends, what kind of cells are majorly affected by this particular cancer? Is there any rule that only particular or specific cells of the body has to be affected by the cancer? No, nothing like that. Every cell of the body can easily get affected by the cancer. I want every one of you to understand, friends, listen. Most cancers generally arise from the somatic cells. What are somatic cells? Every cell of the body, we can call it as a somatic cell, except a germ cell. So what you have to understand, 90%, I can say, not 90%, even I can tell you, friends, 95%. 95% of all the cancers occurs in the somatic cell, nothing but body cell. Which means, does the cancer cell not occur in the germ cell? That's a wrong statement. Friends, cancer can occur in the germ cells also. Cancer can occur in the reproductive cells also. You know very well. So there is a testicle cancer. Correct na? Friends, there is a ovarian cancer. So what is the statement you have to remember? The cancer is not restricted only to the body cell. The cancer can also occur in the reproductive cell. But what I want you people to know that when compared to the germ cell, when compared to the reproductive cell, the cancer will occur majorly in the somatic cell. What are somatic cells that we discussed? Somatic cells are the body cells. So here comes a very important and very interesting differences between the normal cell as well as the cancer cell. So friends, let's try to understand what are the major differences between the normal and cancer cell. I want every one of you try to understand this very elaborate difference. Please focus. What are the major differences between the normal and the cancer cell? Anyway, you people first listen my statements, what I am saying. Always keep it in your mind. The first point. Our normal cell, if you look into a normal cell, every cell of the body, it will undergo the division. Do you think our normal cell will undergo the division continuously? No, it's not possible. Our cell will undergo the division only for the particular period. After the division, our cell will stop the division after a particular time. Then cell will undergo differentiation. Later, it will stop the differentiation. After performing all its function, the cell will undergo the process of what, friends? Apoptosis, which we generally call it as a programmed cell death. These are all the general characteristic of what? Good evening, Srikanth. These are all the general characteristic of what? A normal cell. So every one of you keep it in your mind, friends. Everyone, normal cell will undergo the division. At a particular state, it will stop the division. Then it will undergo the process of differentiation. After, it will undergo what, friends? Everyone listen my statement. After, once it completely performed its function, there is no role of cell in the body. Then the cell will undergo, friends, apoptosis, which is a programmed cell death. One more very unique point about the normal cell. Do you think, everyone listen my statements very carefully. Do you think the normal cell, normal cell can move from one area to the another area? That's not at all possible. What you have to understand, suppose example, I got infected with a liver cancer. If I cut the liver tissue and if I keep it in the other area, obviously tumor will grow. But normally I did not affected with any kind of a tumor. If I cut the liver cell and if I keep it in the any other area, do you think it will develop the colonies? Never ever. So what do you mean by that? I want every one of you to understand our normal cell do not show What it do not show friends, it never ever show the process of metastasis. What is metastasis friends? Moving from one area to the another area. Our normal cell never ever. So friends, many times we got this particular question. What is the question? They use it to say following are the differences between the normal cell and cancer cell, and they can ask us which of the following combination statements are correct, or which of the following combination statements are wrong. So compulsory friends, you have to remember the major differences between the normal cell and the cancer cell. Okay, once again listen. What did I tell you? Normal cell undergo the division. It will never ever undergo the division at a higher rates. It will undergo regulated division. Now you can ask me why our cell is undergoing the regulated division. Because our cell can be controlled by the cyclins and CDKs. That's why we always called cell undergo the regulated division. After division, it will stop the division, undergo the differentiation. Once it completely performs its functions, it will undergo the process of apoptosis, and our normal cell never ever move from one area to the another area. It never ever show the process of metastasis. These, whatever I said to you, they are the general characteristic of a normal cell. Now you people listen to me. If I tell you specific characteristic of a cancer cell, everyone listen to me carefully. Cancer cell will undergo division, 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 division. It never ever undergo the differentiation. Suppose if I undergo the differentiation, very poor differentiation. Poor differentiation or no differentiation at all. Only division. That's why you can define a word cancer, irregulated cell division. You generally call it as a cancer. It never undergo the differentiation. The unique statement is what? The cancer cell can easily metastatized. What do you mean by that? So cancer cell can easily move from one area to the another healthy area. Even it can infect the healthy areas also. These are all what? Major fundamental differences between the normal and cancer cell. Nearly two times we got a direct question about the differences between the normal and the cancer cell. Anyway, let me explain you elaborately. Everyone look into this. Everyone please look into the one by one. If you look into a normal cell, please focus friends. Normal cell is a very small, uniformly shaped nucleus. You can see the picture very clearly friends. Is it? What you can understand by the normal cell? It is very small. Inside the nucleus is a very uniform nucleus. You have to understand that step. But if you look into a cancer cell, you only try to understand. Cancer cell is what friends? Very large cell. Very large cell. Do you think it is uniform in shape? No, it is not at all uniform in shape. It is a variable in shape. Only friends, our normal cell, the nucleus and cytoplasm can be arranged in a particular orientation. But in the cancer cell, the nucleus and cytoplasm never ever arranged in a normal orientation. Never ever forget that. Here comes another interesting point. What is that? Friends, everyone, please look into the normal cell. If you look into the normal cell, everyone understand. In the normal cell, friends, cytoplasm is more. Which means cytoplasm occupy major area. Whereas nucleus can occupy only smaller area. Relatively large cytoplasmic volume. But friends, if you look into a cancer cell, what you have to understand, relatively very small cytoplasmic volume. Because friends, you can see the picture. In the cancer cell, nucleus can occupy the large portion. Whereas friends, cytoplasm can occupy the very small portion. Please don't forget that point. Now look into the next point. Whichever the points I am saying, I am requesting all of you to read and remember every single point. They are extremely important. You can see conformity in the cell size and shape. What do you mean by the word conformity in the cell size and shape? We use it to define, we use it to give one statement. What is that? Group of cells having same size group of cells having same shape, group of cells having same function. What friends? Group of cells having same size, same shape, same function, all come close together. What they are going to give rise to? They are going to give rise to the tissue. So that is the nature of a normal cell. But do you think the cancer cells will be organized in the normal orientation? Never ever. Cancer cell never ever organized in the normal orientation. Always keep it in mind. They are always disorganized. Every time friends, they will be continuously disorganized, which means cancer cell never form a tissue. What do you mean by that? Because one cancer cell never be associated with the another cell and they never form a tissue at all. That's not possible because cancer cell never ever associated with each other. That's why we can call it disorganization. Very important statement I want you people to understand. It may possess differentiated cell structure. What do you mean by the word may possess a differentiated cell structure? Because I told you clearly, our normal cell will undergo the division only up to certain extent. Is it? Our cell never undergo the division continuously. Only for a particular period it undergo the division. Later it will undergo the process of differentiation by stopping the division. But friends, if you look into the cancer, what you have to understand? Loss of normal specialized features. What do you mean by the word loss of normal specialized features? It never ever undergo the differentiation at all. What it will do? Only division. In our normal cell, all the surface markers expressed at a particular stage. You know, right? Whether it is a macrophages, dendritic cell, T cell, B cell, whatever the cell it may be, friends, there should be an expression of surface marker. So you have to understand, friends, we know it. Surface markers are not going to be expressed every time. Surface markers are going to be expressed whenever there is a requirement. But it is not with the cancer cell. What is with the cancer cell? Elevated expression of cell marker. Every single time the surface markers are getting expressed. So I can tell you the major difference between the normal cell and cancer cell is this. That is, our normal cell always show lower level of dividing cells. Friends, what do you mean by the word lower level of the dividing cell? Everyone keep it in your mind. Lower level of dividing cells means only at a particular time or only for the particular period our cell will undergo the division. Once the division over, it will stop, and what it will show? High differentiation. But friends, what you have to understand by the cancer cell? They never ever undergo the differentiation. See here, large number of dividing cells. In case of our cells, normal cells I am talking about, regulated division, high differentiation. But in case of a cancer cell, large number they will divided. There is a no regulation of the cell division and there will be a no differentiation. So friends, these are all the major differences between the normal cell as well as the cancer cell. So now let's try to understand most important one. So we understand the differences between the normal cell as well as we understand the differences between the cancer cell. Now friends, let's try to understand what are the major differences between the benign tumor and malignant tumor. So as I told you before, we can expect the question from the differences between the normal cell and cancer cell, or we can expect the questions from the differences between the benign tumor as well as the malignant tumor. Please kindly do not forget that particular statement at all. Okay, now how can I define the word benign tumor or malignant tumor? My friends, I am telling to all of you, please listen my statements very carefully. When I define a word benign tumor to all of you, most of the people, even though we get a benign tumor, most of the people will think that we got a cancer. No. See, what you have to understand by benign tumor, listen. Benign tumor means our normal cells only. Listen my statements carefully. They are normal cells, work like normal cells, divide like normal cell, differentiate like normal cell, right? Function like normal cell. They look like normal cell, divide like normal cell, differentiate like normal cell, function like normal cell. Then why did I call it as a benign tumor? The only reason I called it as a benign tumor because they are all grouped together. That's the only reason I call it as a benign tumor. So like this, you can see here all the cells, you can see here very clearly, all the cells are grouped together. They are clumped together. They are associated together. A ball or a mass of cells. A ball or a mass or a clump or a group of cells, we call it as a benign tumor. So as I told to you that they work like normal cell, as I told you that they function like normal cell, then obviously friends, they never ever show metastasis. That's an important point friends. They never ever show the process of metastasis, which means they never ever starts moving from one area to the another area. Never forget that point. Now here comes the most unique one. Malignant tumor. What you have to understand, when you heard the name of a malignant tumor, one thing has to keep it in your mind. They never work like normal cell. They never divide like normal cell. They never differentiate like normal cell. They never function like normal cell. And just now I told you that our normal cell never ever move from one area to the another area. But friends, when you look into this particular malignant tumor, it compulsory starts moving from one area to the another area. That is what exactly friends, we will be calling it as what? Malignant tumor. Please kindly don't forget that particular statement at all. Okay. Let's understand the major differences between the normal and cancer. See, you can see, all of you can see this picture. It will explain you very beautifully here. Why did I call it a benign tumor as a non-cancerous? Everyone look into this beautiful picture. You can see, right? All the cells are arranged in a group. Correct, na? All the cells are clumped together. That's the only reason I am calling it as a benign tumor. There is no other difference at all when compared to the normal cell. But I want every one of you look into this particular cancer cell. When you look into the cancer cell, what is the statement that you can give me? See here. They are also group of cells. There is no doubt about it. They are also group of cells. There is no doubt about it. But what's the unique statement you can observe? This is starts moving from where to where? You can see the picture, the arrow what I am showing. It is starts moving from one area to the another area. Since it starts moving from one area to the another area, that's the only reason we call the malignant tumor is a cancerous. You never called benign tumor is a cancerous. We will only call malignant tumor is a cancerous. I want every one of you understand these particular differences without fail, because as I told you earlier, you can expect the questions from the differences also without fail. Okay, every one of you focus, look into the definition here. Good evening, good evening. A benign tumor, what do you understand? A benign tumor is a group of cells. Look into this friends. A benign tumor is a group of cells or a mass of cells. But you have to understand, do you think that have the ability to invade? Never ever. That lacks the ability to invade into the neighboring cells. And most importantly friends, they never ever show the process of metastasis. They never ever. I'll show you a very good animation you can understand in the tomorrow class. They never ever show the metastasis. Now, everyone listen or look into this line. I have written here, when removed, benign tumors usually do not grow back. But you know, I can use this statement as a contradictory statement. I can say this statement is a contradictory. You can ask me why. because you know, right, most of people will get lipomas, not lymphomas. We will get lipomas. What there is a accumulation of the fat cells. We can observe on the hands, we can observe on the chest, we can observe on the back, we can observe on the stomach. You know, in many cases it was found some people hardly they have 1 or 2 lipomas all over the body. But some people, you don't believe, there some people will get more than 40 to 50 lipomas all over the body. Now you can ask me, will they cause any effect? They never ever show any negative impact at all. But what is the point you have to understand? We have observed many cases when we remove it by a liposuction method, there is a chance that they can reappear. So friends, please kindly remember, every one of you, the best examples of lipomas. Last time I have given only, the best example of benign tumor. Last time I have given only the example of lipoma. I am requesting all of you friends, at least remember 4 to 5 types. Lipoma, fibroma, benign fibrous histiocytoma, neurofibroma. Okay, at least remember whichever I have marked. Lipoma, fibroma, fibrous histiocytoma, then followed by the neurofibroma. These are all the four major type of the benign tumor which never ever cause any kind of a adverse effect. They just present in the body as it is. They walk like normal, they function like normal, they divide like normal, they differentiate like normal. Only the point is here, they all arranged in a group. That's the only difference when compared to the normal cell. Now friends, the most important one, that is what? Malignant tumor. Just now I have told to all of you about the malignant tumor. What was that? Malignant tumor never look like normal cell, never work like normal cell, never divide like normal cell, never differentiate like normal cell, and our normal cell never go to other areas, but cancer cell every time they will go to the other side. So that's why everyone listen, look into this. Malignant tumors are made up of cancer cells. So now some people will get a doubt, which cells will go faster? Does the benign tumors will go faster, or the malignant tumors will grow faster? My friends, there is no doubt about it. The malignant tumors will grow very, very, very rapidly. They usually grow faster. You have to remember these statements for the exam point of view. They usually grow faster than the benign tumors, and they are having the ability or capability to spread into the adjacent tissues, and they cause a great damage. Why? Because friends, they can show the mechanism of what? Metastasis. That's what I told to you, right? They always show the process of metastasis, whereas our normal cell never show the process of metastasis. Okay, what are the examples? Very dangerous are they. Liposarcoma, synovial sarcoma, which is occurring in the synovial fluid. Neurosarcoma, which is happening in the nervous system. Fibrosarcoma, which is happening in the connective tissue. Angiosarcoma, very dangerous one. So there are, see friends, I am just giving you an example, that's all. There are many type of cancers are there. I hope you don't believe, actually there are more than 40,000 type of cancers are there. How many friends? More than 40,000 type of cancers were identified so far. Please remember. Anyway, quickly look into the differences. Benign tumor, it's a non-cancerous. That's what we understand. What about the malignant tumor we read? It is a cancerous tumor. I am requesting all of you to read every point present in the PPT without fail. Now, I told you benign tumor never ever show the process of metastasis. Benign tumor does not show metastasis, and it is non-invasive. What do you mean by the word non-invasive? It cannot incorporate into the adjacent area. It cannot incorporate into the other area. Next one, it shows metastasis. Which one? cancer, that is malignant tumor, and it can move every body part. Now, what is the unique statement you have to remember? Have you ever observed that the benign tumor starts growing? Never ever. Friends, this statement is very important. You might observe in our body also. Once benign tumor reaches a particular size, when benign tumor reaches a particular size, it never grows. Never ever. But it is a fixed size. It stops the growth after reaching a certain size. But do you think will it happen with the malignant tumor? Never ever. Malignant tumor shows indefinite growth. It can spread on, you can say it can spread almost all the particular tissues. Even it can move from one organ to the another organ also. So very important point. Everyone pay attention towards this particular point. Limited adherence occur among the cells of benign tumor. What do you mean by that? This is one cell, another cell, another cell, another cell, another cell. What I want to say that here complete adhesion is not possible. What I can say in the benign tumor, as I told you, benign tumor means group of cells are coming close together. I can say, friends, they are all associated at a particular extent. What do you mean by that? They cannot associate very strongly with each other. Never. They associated very loosely. But what is the point? Even though they associated very loosely, but they will associate for sure. That's an important point. They will associate for sure. But friends, when you look into a malignant tumor, they never ever attach with each other. Never ever. What, friends? They never ever attaches with each other under any circumstances. That is one of the unique point every one of you has to remember. And do you think a benign tumor will cause the fatal condition? No, it never cause. What about the malignant tumor? Will it cause the fatal condition? Of course, yes. It is more fatal to the body. Friends, please don't forget even a single statement that whatever we have explained here. Never ever forget. See, I am covering the entire concept. By that, you don't need to refer other books. By that, we can easily solve the questions without fail. Now, friends, I have told to you just now, there are many types of cancers are there. Friends, how many type of cancers are there? I already said it to you. More than, friends, listen, more than 40,000 types of cancers. How many? 40,000 types, not 4,000 types also. So, but I want you to understand, when compare among the 40,000 of cancers, some cancers are most dangerous cancer. Anyway, we have kept here some of the major type of cancers. And I am going to explain you some of the most dangerous cancer. So first one is what, friends? Carcinoma. I want every one of you to understand. Friends, what is carcinoma? You all commonly know that the cancer which appears on the skin, or the cancer which appears on the layers which are covering the internal organs. So that is what do we call, friends? Carcinoma. I hope we read in our molecular biology chapter also very elaboratively. I hope everyone quickly recall. We discussed it, right? When we exposure to the high intensity of sunlight, what is going to happen, friends? Thymine can pair with the another thymine. What do we call it as? We called it as a pyrimidine dimer. We read it. Suppose, friends, if this particular pyrimidine dimer is unrepaired, what will happen if the pyrimidine dimer is unrepaired? It leads to the skin cancers. Correct, na? So keep it in your mind. So which is what? Carcinoma. Never ever forget that particular point. Okay, now the next and another very important type, that is the sarcoma. Friends, what is sarcoma? We all know, right? The cancer which is occurring in the bone, the cancer which appeared in the fat, muscle, Okay, the cancer which occurs in the cartilage. These all we call it as what? Sarcoma. This is also very dangerous type of a cancer. Then another one, leukemia. What is leukemia, friends? We all know, right? The cancer which occurred in our blood bone marrow. Very dangerous. What do you call our blood bone marrow? We called it as what, friends? Hematopoietic stem cell. Correct, na? So the cancer which occur in the hematopoietic stem cell, that is what do we call, my friends? We will be calling it as a leukemia. Then what is the another important dangerous type? Lymphoma and myeloma. Friends, what are this particular lymphoma and myeloma? Lymphoma and myeloma are the type of cancers which was appeared in our immune system. You can remember in a simple way, the cancers which are related to the immune system, very dangerous. You can remember the cancers related to the B lymphocyte, the cancers related to the T lymphocyte, all that particular type of cancers we can call it as, friends, lymphoma and myeloma. Then there are central nervous system cancers, what we generally call it as brain tumors. Very dangerous they are also. So friends, as I said you just now, there are more than 40,000 of cancers are there. Among 40,000 of cancers, these cancers, I can say, a very dangerous type of cancers. What are those? Carcinoma, sarcoma, leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, then followed by, friends, central nervous system cancers. Right? Yes. Now friends, this is a very important statement. I want every one of you to understand this. Tumor progression. How a tumor cell basically progressed. Friends, this is an interesting point I want you people to understand. If I use a word, see, we use it to say one line. What is that one line? We use it to say that the cancer cell will grow very rapidly. There is no doubt about it. But friends, I never ever say that cancer cells never grow rapidly starting. You have to remember, once cancer cell reach at a particular stage, only at a particular stage the cancer cells starts growing very rapidly. So now listen, I want every one of you look into this picture very carefully, friends. Look into this. This is a normal cell. Correct, na? This is a normal cell. You can see here, normal cell, there is a no movement at all, and there is a no cancer at all. There is a no tumor formation at all. They are looking like normal, they are working like normal, they are dividing like normal, they are differentiating like normal, they are functioning like normal. No doubt about it. Now you only try to understand. See here, among many normal cells, just one or two cells got tumorized. They got affected with the cancer. But friends, you only try to understand, does all these cells are growing very fastly? Never ever. These cells starts growing very slowly. What you can call it as they will show the mild growth. I want you people to remember this term without fail. They will show the mild growth. Sometimes instead of calling it as a mild growth, you can call it as an aberrant growth. They can show the mild growth or aberrant growth, which means they just started moving from one area to the they are just spreading from one cell to the another cell. See friends, everyone look into this. First, initially cancer affected to the below layer. See here. Now to the second layer, now third layer, fourth layer, fifth layer, sixth layer, seventh layer, all. So friends, see here, it started slowly, but it affected entire tissue. That's fine. But after affecting the entire tissue, does it stop only with that tissue? Not at all. it starts moving from that particular tissue to the another area also. So what you can understand, we can call it as invasive carcinoma, which means it is not restricted to the particular area. It's a keep on spreading continuously. So from one tissue to one tissue, it is moving to the another tissue. What do you call that? That's only we call it as a metastasis. Means moving from one area to the adjacent area. That is what exactly we can call it as what? Tumor progression. What I want you people to understand here is that, friends, none of the cancer cell never ever grow very faster in the starting time. But you have to understand, once it reaches the stage of a metastasis, they can grow very rapidly. Very, very rapidly it can grow. But till it reaches the period of a what we can say metastasis, the growth will be smaller, the growth will be low, the growth will be slower growth. So that's why the tumor never ever progressed rapidly. The tumor starts slowly, then mild, then followed by it will show a rapid growth. Please don't forget the statement at all, friends. I want you people to understand this particular statement without fail. What is this statement? Everyone listen, friends. Very important statement it is. It was written, everyone listen, it was written, cancerous growth often depends on defective control of a cell death or cell differentiation. Once again, look into the statement very carefully. It was written that cancer growth often depends on defective control of cell death or cell differentiation. What do you mean by that? Which means when the cell undergo defective division, when the cell undergo defective differentiation, or when the cell fails to divide normally, when the cell fails to differentiate normally, then it leads to the cancer. I want every one of you, please kindly look into this picture very carefully, friends. Don't confuse. You can see this. This is what? This is self-renewing stem cell. First of all, I want every one of you to understand one statement. What do you mean by the word self-renewing stem cell? Self-renewing stem cell means which is having the ability or capability to renew itself. So you can see this cell give rise to itself, no doubt about it. At the same time, it is also going to give rise to the daughter cell. Very simple cell. In first case, it's a normal pathway. There is a self-renewing stem cell having the ability or capability to give rise to itself, and it give rise to a non-stem cell daughter. Non-daughter stem cell, you can say. Friends, once again, please kindly don't confuse whatever I am talking here. Listen my statements very, very carefully here, what I am saying. This is what do we call? This is the daughter cell. Everyone listen. Do you think the daughter cell give rise to the parent cell? That's not at all possible. It's not possible. Here only first cell, that is the only one having the ability to undergo the self-renewal. It will undergo the self-renewal and it also gives rise to the daughter cell. But the daughter cell never gives rise to the parent cell. Now what's happening to this daughter cell? It will undergo the division. What kind of division? Does it is undergoing the irregulated division? No. It is just undergoing a normal division. You can see here. The cell is undergoing the normal division. At one particular stage, the cell is going to stop the division. The moment it stops the division, what is going to happen? It will undergo the differentiation. Hence, I called it as a normal pathway. There is no problem. There is no way that it can give rise to the cancer formation. A simple point. Now, every one of you look into the second condition. What you understand by the second condition? Everyone listen. Second condition, you look into this. This is what cell? Self-renewing stem cell. Originally, what we understand? This particular self-renewing stem cell has to give rise to what? It has to give rise to one daughter cell. But friends, in the second case, all of you can understand it very easily. This particular stem cell, it is failed. It is failed what? It is failed to give rise to the daughter cell. Instead of giving rise to the daughter cell, my friends, it starts dividing continuously. You can see here. It starts dividing continuously. See here. Uncontrollably it starts dividing. When it starts dividing uncontrollably, what do you call it as? We can say that it is going to give rise to the cancer. Very, very, very simple point. It is going to give rise to what? Cancer. Now, look into the third condition. It's really interesting. See here the third condition. Once again, everyone listen here. In the third condition, you can understand one more unique statement. What is that unique statement? See here. There is a parent cell. Here what you have to understand. Parent cell having the ability or capability to give rise to itself also. Parent cell having the ability or capability to give rise to the daughter cell also. There is no doubt about it. But what is the unique point you have to understand? Here, in the first case, you observe, my friends, the daughter cell undergo the regulated division and it will undergo the proper differentiation. And what's the unique statement here? It is not at all undergoing the regulated division. It is not undergoing the regulated division. It is undergoing the irregulated division. It is not undergoing differentiation. Instead of undergoing the process of differentiation, it is dividing abnormally, which leads to the tumor formation. So in the second case, there is a formation of a tumor, and in the third case, there is a formation of a tumor. And which case there is a no formation of tumor? In the first case. Why? Because there will be a normal division. Here, they lost the division, they lost the differentiation also. So please remember this statement. What was written here? Cancer growth often depends on defective control of a cell death or cell differentiation. When the cell failed to divide normally, when the cell failed to differentiate normally, then obviously it is going to give rise to what, friends? Cancer. Never ever forget that particular statement at all. Now friends, the most important step I want every one of you to understand. What was that? Metastasis. Okay, I already told to you just now, metastasis cannot be shown by every single cell. Who is going to show the metastasis? Metastasis can extremely shown by the cancerous cell or the cell which is growing rapidly without any kind of a regulation. So look into this. I have told you very clearly. Suppose example, if you cut our liver cell and if you keep it in the culture, do you think it will grow? You cut liver cell and keep it in the area of a pancreas, do you think it will grow? It never ever grow. But if you cut the same liver cell which is infected with cancer, which is affected with cancer, if you keep it in the pancreas, ultimately it will grow. And our cell never having the ability or capability to move from one area to the other area. But what about the cancer cell? They can easily move. The ability or capability to move from one area to the another area. What, friends? The ability or capability of a cell to move from one area to the another area, which we will be calling it as a metastasis. What do you understand by the word metastasis? In metastasis, cancer cell break away. See, listen the statement. It will break away from where they first formed. Wherever they formed, we call it as what? Primary cancer. Wherever the area they formed, it just break that layer and it will travel. This is the most important statement every one of you remember. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I am just saying that the cancer cell moving from one area to the another area. The point is very clear how they will move from one area to the another area. They will start moving from one area to the another area, friends, via blood vessels. Very important point it is. Via blood vessels or the lymphatic system. We all know, right? The movement of cancer cell, everyone listen, the movement of cancer cell through the blood vessel. What do you call it as? We call it as angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is a process of moving the cancer cell from one area to the another area via blood vessels or a lymphatic system. That's what we exactly call it as, friends, this particular metastasis. Now here comes one more interesting point. You can ask me, sir, whatever the cancer present in the first stage, will it show the metastasis? No, it never. Whatever the cancer that is present in the second stage, will it show the metastasis? I can say no. But friends, whatever the cancer that crosses the second stage, which are in the third stage and fourth stage, both stages. Third and fourth stage of cancer or advanced level of cancer, they are showing the process of metastasis. Never forget that. So they can give us a statement that the primary stage of cancer will show the metastasis, which is absolutely a wrong statement. It never. So listen to me. It occurs when cancer cell break off from the original tumor. Everyone listen. Spread through the bloodstream or a lymph vessel to another part of the body. This is only we call it as a metastasis or angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is movement. Once they reach to the other area, it starts spreading a new colonies. That's what we call it as a metastasis. So please kindly remember, friends, the cells which are in the first stage or second stage, they never ever show the process of metastasis. Never forget that. I want every one of you look into this picture very elaboratively, friends. Please focus on the picture clearly. You can see here, if you see the first picture, the cell is normally growing. Correct, na? You can understand here. The cell is normally growing. It is not at all broke any kind of a layer. Correct, na? Now you understand, it broke the basal lamina. It broke the basal lamina. So you only try to understand, this is the tumor which is growing on epithelium. This is the tumor which is growing on the just epithelial tissue. What's happening now? Whatever the cancer that is growing on the epithelium, everyone look into this picture. It broke that basal lamina. Because it is not in the first stage, it is not in the second stage, it is in the advanced stage. You can say third stage, you can say fourth stage. Now it got broken. It is just breaking the barrier. It broke the barrier. Okay, now from the epithelium, it has to enter into the another area. Suppose example, you people listen to me. From the epithelium, the cell has to enter into the liver. Do you think it will directly jump into the liver? Is that possible? No, it's not possible. So it has to travel through the blood vessels. It has to travel through the lymphatic vessel. So that movement, you people listen, this particular movement, we will be calling it as angiogenesis. What is that? Angiogenesis. The movement of the cancer cell through the blood vessel or the lymphatic vessel. Do not forget the statement. Now here another interesting point. What is that? Last time also I told you, whenever the cancer cells starts moving through the blood vessel system or a lymphatic vessel system, do you think will it grow or all the cancer cells will survive? Never ever. This is a very interesting point. An example I am talking. If 1,000 cells are moving, how many? 1,000, not 100. If 1,000 cells are moving through this particular blood vessel system, hardly 1 or 2 cells will survive. That's all. Only 1 or 2 cells will survive. Now you can ask me, what is the reason out of 1,000 cells why only 1 or 2 cells are surviving? You can understand the reason is lack of nutrients. Lack of nutrients. Very important. Lack of oxygen. This is most important. That's why scientists used to say that doing fasting once in a week is really healthy. Why? Because when we are under fasting condition, what is the level of oxygen in our cells? It never be high. It will be always low. But Whatever the cancer cells that are under the metastasis condition, they require more oxygen, is it? So as a result, what happened? That metastatic cancer cells are not getting the higher oxygen, then they will die. But let me tell you one great disadvantage here. Even though out of 1000 cells are traveling, I told to you that hardly 1 or 2 cells are surviving. That is what I told to you. But friends, the point is very clear. Even though 1 cell is survived, even though 2 cells are survived, that's enough actually. They can easily grow the colonies. Now you, every one of you, look into this picture. From the blood vessel, what's happening? Look into this. From the blood vessel, it is entering, it will break the blood vessel. It break the blood vessel, entered into the damaged area. Sorry, it break the blood vessel and enter into the not damaged area, enter into the new area. See here, it started from epithelium, friends, but it entered into the liver here. Where it entered? It entered into the liver. Once it entered into the liver, you are able to see here, they can grow huge colonies. What you have to understand, only 1 or 2 cells are entered, but that 1 or 2 cells are sufficient. They can form a group of colonies. Why? Because they are already advanced stage. They never ever follow any regulated pathway. They will undergo the rapid cell division without any regulation. Even though 1 cell is there or 2 cells are there sufficient, they can grow a rapid division and they will infect the other area also. This is what exactly we, friends, we call the process of metastasis. Okay. So friends, right now we understand what is cancer. We understand differences between normal cell and cancer cell. We understand differences between benign tumor and malignant tumor. We understand general characteristic of a cancer. We understand types of cancer. We understand what is metastasis. In the tomorrow class, we will understand what are the types of cancer. Most importantly, genetics of cancer, treatment of cancer, and we will solve the PYQs. Okay. That's all for now. Is it clear, friends? Hope it's clear for everyone. Is it clear? Please ask me if you have any kind of a doubts. And I am requesting all of you revise this topic once again without fail. Tomorrow we will solve the questions once the topic is over. Is it clear, everyone? I hope the discussion is useful. Clear? Okay, friends. That's all for now. I'll meet you at tomorrow 7:30 p.m. sharp. Thank you all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Hope the class is useful to all of you.